Hey guys, it's Jen with 2Ns. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to show you how to do a dip application with a foil dip. And I just turned on the light and that's much better. So the dip that I'm using is from Phoenix Ashes Nails and it's called Moonlight Unicorn and it is pretty awesome. It's extremely unique, just like all of her powders. The liquids that I'm using are from Fairy Glamor, and I have a discount code that you can use to save 10% at both companies. You can use them more than once, so either you can write down the codes or, of course, I'll have them in the description box below. If you noticed, I shook my jar before I opened it, and now I'm tapping the sides. I'm doing this to get the foil pieces to come up to the top. By doing this, it makes sure when I dip my nail, the first thing that touches my nail in the base coat, so the first thing that sticks to my nail, is going to be the foil pieces. Now I'm stirring it, and to be honest, I did this backwards. Shake the jar and then stir it and then tap it. So here I am now, I'm tapping it again to get the foil pieces to come up. And I totally forgot to mention that the other color I'm using for this mani is also Fairy Glamor. That one is called Sugar Plum Fairy, and it'll be in the description box below as well. So we're going to start with step 1, which is the Bond-In Base from Fairy Glamor. I am actually a huge fan of Fairy Glamor's liquids, but we will get into that in an upcoming video that I'm doing. I will have my first impressions of Fairy Glamor very shortly, but I do highly recommend them. So to start with a very thin layer of the base coat. Make sure that you don't get too close to your cuticles and don't get any product on your skin. But if you do, make sure that you wipe it off before you dip into the powder. Like I did. So the reason that we tapped the jar was so that the foil pieces would come up to the top. And this is why right here. If you take a look for our first dip, we have plenty of coverage on our nail with the foil. I was very, very impressed with how this foil powder dipped. So that's totally awesome. Clean up your cuticles with a toothpick or an orange wood stick, and then take a plastic bag, and I want you to watch what I do here. So if you noticed, I am taking the plastic bag and I'm pulling those foil pieces that have gone over my nail and I'm pulling them in to the nail and then I'm pressing them down. I personally think that's a better way than just removing the foil because then you have more foil on your nail so you have more coverage and I think it looks better. After you pat down your powder with the plastic bag, sometimes because that powder is still soft, it can move. So just make sure if you need to clean up your cuticle area again that you do. Just make sure that everything is nice and neat and tight. And then it's time for the second layer. You do the same thing for the second layer. You put a very thin layer of base coat on. Make sure that you don't get any on your skin, but make sure you have full coverage on your entire nail. After you are done with the base coat, make sure before you put it back into the bottle that you wipe your brush because you don't want to contaminate your liquid. So what you want to make sure you do before you put the liquid on your nail is pat your jar so that the foil comes back up to the top. You want to do this before you put the base back on your nail. Not like me, do as I say, not as I do. I just am not batting 1,000 for this mani, doing everything backwards. But the takeaway here is make sure that your powder is prepped before you put the base coat on your nail. You can use your finger if you want. I don't recommend it though because you will end up getting glue on your finger. I think that a plastic baggie is perfect. I got these from Amazon. They were pretty cheap. But if you use your finger, you're just going to have glue on your finger and it'll take a couple days for it to completely come off. But who am I to judge? You do what you want to do. Because I do it sometimes too. So if you see I'm using a fluffy brush, oh, see, there I go, using my fingers. You can actually use, once the liquid has dried, a stiffer brush to get that extra powder off. A lot of times that's a lot of help and very beneficial in getting everything off. So it also helps with a clear powder. If you have any clear powder left over on your nail, sometimes you get white spots after you put your top coat on. So if you ever notice you have white spots, that is what it's from you still have dip powder on your nails before you did the top coat, or before you activated and did the top coat. So now I am putting on another layer of base coat because it is time to do the clear powder. Clear powder does help to protect the design. You definitely want to encapsulate your foils and your glitters, but it's really important that you encapsulate them because it puts a layer of protection over whatever dip powder you have. In this case, it's foil. When you're filing, shaping, and buffing, if you don't have that layer of protection, you will file your foil, and then it's going to ruin the look of your nail that you just spent forever doing. Once you have your clear powder on, and of course it is time to activate it. Activating it is what hardens the nail so that we can file, shape, and buff it. And you guys, I am very aware that I keep going back and forth in my videos between saying this is what we do next and this is how our nails, and if you notice, we have. And then I'll say, next I did this, and when I did this, my nails. So I'm aware that I keep going back and forth. I need to pick one way and stick with it. I'm working on it. I promise. I know it's probably super annoying every time I do it. So, like I said, I'm aware. Okay, the next step is to file our nails. File, shape, and buff. And there I go again. Let's file our nails, shall we? I definitely don't write my videos out before I do them. Maybe that's something that I might find helpful. We shall see. We shall see. So what I'm doing here is I am shaping my cuticle area and the sidewall as well. When I do my cuticle, I take the file and I kind of do it in a rounded motion. So I keep the file, I don't have the file straight up and down, and I don't have it straight flat, whatever that means. I don't have it flat. I curve it. If you notice, I have the file kind of bent at a 45-degree angle, and I curve it around my cuticle. And for my sidewall, I come underneath it. So I file the side of it and then I file underneath it. By doing that, I make sure that my nail isn't too wide when you go underneath. Also, I'm working on my dominant hand. So if you notice, I'm moving my hand a lot more than I am moving the file. I feel that I have a lot more control when I do it that way. So if you have a hard time, if you struggle with doing your dominant hand, try that. Try moving your hand instead of your tool as much. Of course, sometimes you move the tool, but just try moving your hand more. And then don't forget to get your free edge either. You want to make sure that that is straight in the shape that you want it. And then after you are done filing and shaping your nail, then you go in with your buffing block. Make sure that you buff your nails very well. Make sure that they're smooth. If they're not smooth, then your end result is not going to look as good. Once you are done with that, then you want to wash your hands. And now it is time for our second round of activator. Let me try that again. Now it is time for your second round of activator. This next step is extremely important. After you let your activator dry for 2 minutes, wipe it with a lint-free cloth. Get all that activator off of your nails because it will ruin your top coat if you have any left over. I always like to get a fresh napkin or paper towel for our top coat. For the first layer, go in quickly, 3 swipes and you're done. Wipe your brush on the paper towel. Make sure you don't have any activator left over on your brush before you put it back into the bottle. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I will tell you what we're going to do on the ring finger matte coat. So you know that you're ready to go in for your second coat of top coat when it looks like you have shrink wrap on your nails. Usually, if you're doing a full hand, after you put your top coat on, by the time you're done, I usually wait about another 30 seconds or so, and then I'm good to go back in for my second coat. It really does. It just looks like shrink wrap on your nails. You'll see what I mean once you're doing it. And always remember to cap your free edge. It's very important that you do that because that is what will protect it and seal it from moisture getting in so that you don't have premature lifting. So what I did next, I did my dip top coat first, and then I took the matte top coat. I did it this way on purpose because I knew that I needed to cure the matte top coat. My gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. I needed to cure the matte top coat. So it's just better this way. I was able to get my dip top coat done and then cure my matte top coat, and then I was completely done with all of the top coats that way. And oh my God, can I say top coat one more time? So there we are. I think this mani turned out super cute. We do have one more step, and that is the cuticle oil. Of course, I'm using cotton candy, which is my absolute favorite scent from Candi Skin Care. And I did actually put the cuticle oil into a cuticle pen that I bought off of Amazon because it's a more bang for your buck if you get the bigger size, but I like to apply it with a pen better. Make sure that you show your cuticles some love. I am totally speeding up this video so you guys don't have to watch me do it, but you want to make sure that you definitely put cuticle oil on your cuticles because a healthy cuticle is a healthy nail, and you want to make sure that you take care of your cuticles because a gnarly cuticle can definitely change the look of your manicure. So that is it for this video. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any questions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. And don't forget about the discount codes in the description box below.